We're buddies from way back.
He's got them heels on today.
I do have my heels. These are nice heels, though.
He is towering.
These are my ruby slippers.
I think I'm gonna put me on some boots with a little bit of a heel tomorrow, just to look down on people. Got a call last night from an old friend's wife, said, I hate to bother you. Well, Johnny Ray fell off the wagon. He's been gone all afternoon. Well, I know
You know, Darryl, what I've thought about doing is taking a pair of boots and just adding a little extra heel every day and just seeing if people know.
Oh, they'll
know?
They'll notice. They'll say, I swear you're getting taller.
Just growing is what
Yeah.
I
I don't grow anymore, but I still have growing pains. You know, I wasn't necessarily going to visit that, but man, when you walked out, and of course we know it's TV, but you did the audition part that we saw.
Yeah.
And when you walked out and did that, for me, that was the most. It was raw and authentic, and I mean, it was. Immediately, I fell in love with your voice. You're a good picker.
Well, I
mean,
appreciate
it was
yeah.
so. I mean, at that point, I go, okay, he's gonna be on there, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, what a great way to start off a career with all those followers and all those people, you know, all that exposure.
It really was.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a blessing it was
Right.
at the time, of course. I was 17.
Sure.
And, my mom had actually signed me up for it. I probably would have never done it myself. But I was a farm boy, you know, farming. And Mom had good call there, I got to say. But, yeah.
She knew.
It was kind of crazy.
Mama knows.
Mama knows. That's right. She always tries, too. Oh, are we get 4? 4 or 5 or Merle, Hank Sr., George Jones. And then it gets tough because then you got to start really sifting through them. Oh, man. George Strait. I mean, you got to put him on there.
Love it.
You have one more. I'd put I'm such a Western swing fan. I'd put Bob Wills on there, too.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
I love Wills too. I love swing music. I write a lot of that stuff, and of course, never gets cut. And I don't have.
Well, not always.
I don't have any hits with it.
I heard
but
Ernest had a good that Why Dallas tune. It's with Lucas Nelson. It gets cut every now and then, Darryl. It's a good tune.
Yeah, I don't stop. You know, we had a song on hold for Straight when I pulled it back in and at the advice of my producer, and we recorded it on my album.
Yeah, there you go.
Called Too Many Pockets. It's called I've Got Too Many Pockets on My Shirt.
That's cool.
Too many choices, and it's only getting worse. It's about how times have changed.
I've been branching out a little bit into it too.
Oh, it's
I
fun.
love Western swing. There's a gal down in Texas that's cut a couple of my songs.
There's a girl in Texas.
There's a song right there. Yeah.
That's a funny story right there if y'all don't know that story.
No, I don't.
So I was on the phone with the man last night. My buddy Mark Colley called me. We've been friends for a lifetime, and he called me last night, and we got to talking about this. So he had a song called I Was Born to Love You. I was born to love you. I was born to love you till the day I die.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pretty big hit for him, you know, back when he was making his records and stuff. And several years later, Trace Atkins came out with this song, and of course Trace didn't know. It wasn't no. It ain't no. It's anyway, and it said, "There's a girl in Texas. There's a girl in Texas. There's a girl in Texas. I love," or something like that.
It's not stealing in country music. It's just called creative borrowing.
It was dead on the money all over that song.
If it's if it's good and it works, you know.
I talked to Collie. I said, "What are y'all gonna do?" And he goes, "We're just being quiet right now." he said, "We're letting them have as good a run as they can," and that song did really good. So they wound up taking them to court, and they won, just like that, because it's just, and it was just one of those mistakes that you can make it, dude. Me and Steve Leslie wrote what I Need a Breather, and we were all over Cheeseburger in Paradise. We had to change the whole melody. I kept telling him, I said, man, this is a Buffett song or something. Anyway, it's kind of crazy when you said that.
It happens a lot. Yeah, I just moved down here. I've been down here about 3 or 4 months in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Oh, cool.
And I love it up there.
Yes, sir. It's nice.
It's close enough to Kentucky, and it's close enough to Nashville for me.
We lived in Mount Juliet, and we could run right up there to Gallatin.
Oh,
Road,
yeah.
up 109.
It's beautiful too.
Yeah,
it reminds me a lot of. It's still got a lot of hills, a lot of holler stuff. It still looks just like Kentucky, but just in Tennessee.
It's close enough to Portland.
It's right.
I need to write that. I was close enough to Portland.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, I know a guy that'd write it with you.
I've always liked his sense of humor. What part of Kentucky are you from?
I'm from a little town called Lancaster.
I know where that is.
South of Lexington, in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I went right through there not too long ago. I was going up to help Eddie Montgomery with a little project.
You go up there to see Eddie a bunch?
Yeah.
Have you ever done his golf tournament?
I just did it.
You did?
Yeah, I just played it. And me and
ain't that a wild? I've
me
done
and
that one too.
me and Cletus.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was a trip.
Cletus is something else too. Yeah.
Oh, you think? He's done the podcast.
Oh, has he been on here before?
Yeah.
Well, hello, Cletus. don't do none of my songs, will you?
Yeah, that's right. That's how you know you've made it.
That's right.
Cletus picks one of your songs.
That's right. Yes, I do. I got a big one up my sleeve. I got a duet with Tracy Byrd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's called Give 'Em the Bird. And it's kind of crazy how this thing, I wrote this with Jerry Salley. I know you know Jerry.
I know him very well.
And we wrote this. His cousin, Tracy's cousin, Jeff, was up in Pennsylvania. I was doing one of them fair convention kind of things, where you pitch yourself. And was up there talking, and I know Tracy. I'd met him in Indianapolis just briefly. But his cousin was up there, so I was talking to him. He looks a lot like him, so I was like, "Yeah, this guy's related." And he said, "You and Tracy ought to cut a duet together." And I said, "Well, that's a novel idea." I said, I like that." He said, "You ought to maybe cut one of his old songs like Watermelon Crawl or Jose Cuervo or something." I said, "It's either way." He's like, "Give 'em the bird." I'm like, ding, that's a light bulb. So, that's what we wrote, was a song called
cool.
Give 'Em the Bird, and we're about to film a music video. Tracy's coming up here to Nashville to do it, and we're really excited about it. And
he's one of my good buddies in the business,
you tell him
man.
howdy for me then. Yeah.
Well, you tell him howdy for me. I don't ever talk to him. I mean, that's how we know we're still friends.
That's right.
If you ain't calling all the time, everything's all right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's kind of cool to hear you've hooked up with old T-Bird to do something. That'll be a lot of fun,
I think it'll be a good record for me. I really do.
No doubt.
It's at least been fun to this point.
Yeah,
you know what I
sure.
mean? But Tracy's so easy to work with and such
he's
a nice
great guy, man.
In his career, he hadn't put music out in like 10 years.
Right.
So it'll be kind of maybe a little resurgence for him.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Yes, sir. I mean, just ask my wife. My wife's from West Virginia.
Oh, there you go.
And she said, I grew up country. There's no doubt about that. But she said, this damn place is geographically isolated.
Well, hey, it's good to be here. I appreciate y'all having me on. Yes, but it's going to be a good CRS. I've seen the mountaintops and the valleys. Let's just say that, Yeah.
I was over there just recently doing your dad and Eddie's like golf tournament, that they do to raise money for charity.
Yeah, buddy.
And boy, they talked about you a lot.
Well, that's good.
Your dad was saying
don't listen to a word they say.
Well, they said you had a lot. Said you had a lot going on.
Yeah, man, it's been a good few months. 24 was probably my biggest year to date, and so obviously you just want to keep it going with
right.
2025, But no, man, it's been really good. We've been releasing songs. Well, we're going to do an EP probably late spring, early summertime, but we've done, single after single after single. We've been trying to do about 6 weeks in between, just a new world. You gotta keep it going.
Yeah, it's rapid fire.
Yeah, it's rapid fire. But
there used to be a time in this business when it didn't take 2 years to have a single.
Yeah,
like when I first was coming up and just writing, you could have 2 or 3 hit songs in a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And boy, that went away, and it turned into, Sounds Like Life was on the charts. It ran for 49 weeks, almost a whole year.
Wow.
And I mean, up there in a good place. So it just it's just paying. I don't know who the hell got the money, but it was paying.
I still don't know where it is.
It was paying somebody.
Well, Dad always talks, man. It's kind of like because we were talking about how rapid fire it is, and he was talking in the early 90s. I mean, it was 12 weeks on the charts, and if you didn't get there, it's done.
That's it.
You're gone.
And I'm going to tell you, and there were some that were a lot shorter time than that. Unbelievable. Yeah. Well, have you forgotten? And I don't bring that up to try to, but its life was pretty quick lived but it shot to the top to number one in 5 weeks, which at that time was a record. It was a new record, and it stayed on top, stayed in the number one spot for 7 weeks in a row. Yeah. And then, of course, when it started going away, it just went and then they're going, what's the next single?
Yeah.
Well, that was 3 singles that nobody ever heard, because they would say, that's a good song, but it ain't no Have You Forgotten. Well, I don't have a whole pocket full of them.
Nobody does.
But I listened to you sing Life's a Dance, I believe it was. Yeah. And I'm telling you, man, it is freaky, even when you talk. Yeah. But it's freaky to me how much you sound like your father. And I don't want you to think that I'm saying you ain't got your own thing. I'm just saying that is something that we need.
Well, hey, look, I didn't think I ever sounded like Dad until I started, about this last year, right, singing his songs.
You've come into your own.
And it's like, my voice is, I'm 26 years old now. The voice is
Lord
matured.
Jesus, you look 16, dude. That's awesome.
But
that's awesome.
Hey, the beard, it makes me look a little bit more mature, let's say, right? But no, man, it's just, I can tell my voice is in a spot where it's going to be for a minute.
Yeah.
And even like last year, I was in the studio, and I can just tell it's deep, but it just doesn't have that grit to it that it does right now.
It won't take long. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it's fun, man. It really is, and being able to re-record some of Dad's songs and do my own songs, especially with I Love the Way You Love Me, and it kind of started taking off, and it's really cool to have his song be, because a lot of the young kids,
absolutely,
they don't know it.
It's the first time they've heard it.
It's the first time.
So check this out. So when I was coming up playing the honky tonks and stuff, we had one band that there's 2 guys from my home area, myself and my best friend. He made it here in Nashville too. He was at a duo with a guy named Neil Thrasher. It was called Thrasher Shiver. Yeah. So Kelly Shiver was my best friend growing up, and he and I had this band, and he did all of John Michael's songs. When they would come out, he'd learn the new single. Well, so I know all them harmony parts.
Oh yeah.
He's singing them in a little falsetto voice, but we was killing it, man, and Life's a Dance, all those songs. We had to learn them right away, because that's what people wanted to hear in them honky tonks.
And he gets up there too.
Oh yeah. Hell. And boy, now I was over there talking to him and Eddie and Cletus was there. Imagine the 4 of us sitting around the table. Yeah, it was pretty bizarre. Yeah. But when your dad talks now, it's big old deep voice. Oh yeah. It's just like, and it happens to all of us. I mean, the more you do it, the more you talk, the more you sing, it just seasons out, man.
It does, man. Yeah. And being on the road is tough.
Oh, it's hard on you.
It's tough on it. And luckily, I've seen, some of the mistakes that old Eddie and Dad made, right? So,
me and you both.
Yeah, right. So
But I didn't see a lot of them through clear eyes.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm trying to take a little bit better care of the vocal cords, Do
it, man, because it'll serve you well. Yeah. Not that those 2 need any help. They'll be just fine. But and mine's tough. I mean, I go for days and days of talking like this, singing every night, whatever it takes. And my vocal doctor's like, he asked me one day, he said, did you grow up screaming at the top of your lungs? He said, because your vocal cords their bands of muscle are supposed to be teeny tiny little, and he said yours ain't teeny tiny. And I did. I grew up around people that were all hard of hearing. Yeah. So we talked at the top of our lungs. He said that's why they look like that. He said you probably won't ever have no trouble, and I haven't. Thank God.
Thank God. Yeah. Right. Knock on wood. Right.
Yeah.
But no, I'm at a point, and I'll tell you what, it took me a little bit to figure out how to kind of control it.
Conserve it,
right?
and control
Yeah,
it.
because you have to,
You
right?
better.
Because I mean, when I was 19, ripping and roaring,
Yeah.
you know, I'd be drinking whiskey and
Yeah.
going on the road.
Yeah.
And it's not sustainable.
No, you
It's
dehydrate
not.
yourself.
It's
And-
not sustainable. Dry you out and everything.
And people that know, you know, my my tour manager would come up to me and say, "Oh, you got to do this again tomorrow night."
yeah, right. You're like, oh my God. And you got to be up at 5 a.m. on the radio and do that. And then, you know, it's like,
he still says, "I don't know how you I don't know how you
man.
do it," but we're blessed, man. We get to do something that a whole lot of folks dream about that never get to do it.
yeah.
And
it's a wonderful life.
man, there's some songs. If I'm not mistaken, now I could be wrong, but I want to say I heard a couple of songs where you guys, your dad's hits, where y'all were both on there together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was amazing.
Well, anytime we do a show together or something, like I'm doing a show with Eddie in a couple weeks, you know, we'll go out there and I'll surprise him on stage or do Soul or something with him. You know, I think I did My Town with Eddie last time we played.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's fun, man, and it's something different that, you know, the headliners bring openers on stage all the time,
absolutely.
right? But it's something different when it's blood. You know,
No, it's a very unique moment. And,
No, it's fun,
and
man.
people love that. Trust me, that's the spice in this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's when you can do stuff like that and it's blood. We had three brothers in here earlier, and man, it made me think of growing up with my brothers.
Yeah.
I have two, one older and one younger, and those guys, they were kind of like us. None of them sounded the same, but boy, when they started singing that harmony, it was like,
You're like, oh crap,
wow.
they're related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You tell them
ridiculous.
boys over there I said howdy. I talked to Eddie occasionally. I don't talk to John Michael very much, but tell them I said howdy, and
I will, man.
And we miss them, and we'll see them out on the road, and hopefully be seeing you out on the road too.
Sounds good, man.
All right, brother.
Sounds good. Appreciate y'all, boys.
Thank you.
Sounds Like Life is a Rivertown Media production. Hosted by Darryl Worley, produced and edited by Mike Murphy, talent manager Julianne Drennan, executive producers Paul and Ashley Perry.